it's your girl Kayne, and you're watching Kayne Music TV, and I'm here to review the BET Awards 2020. BET Awards, the 20th anniversary of the award show that we know and love. But anyway, if you're new here, make sure you subscribe down below to my channel. Make sure you like this video and share this video and comment down below your favorite parts, what you enjoy, what they could have kept, and basically just like what you thought. Alright, so let's get into it. This was the 20th anniversary of the BET Awards and the 40th anniversary of BET, period. So we had a lot to celebrate. You guys know that everybody is all of a sudden pro Black Lives Matter. Everyone's so pro Black. There's a lot happening. The people who write the history books are busy right now getting all this down, right? We've had police brutality. This is normal for Black people, but it seems like other races' eyes are finally open, and if not their eyes, their mouths are finally open, and they are speaking up and advocating. And there was no shying away from that in this BET Awards, okay? We also know that this was the first virtual BET Awards, so a lot of us were nervous, like, is this gonna be live? Are we gonna be doing Zoom calls? People gonna be in their living room? Is it gonna be buffering? Like, what are we going to get? I know a lot of people was waiting on Amanda Seales to pop up as Sita, Sita's World, you know, but that didn't happen, okay? So Amanda Seales was our host, and at the end of the night, we realized that she was just in her house with a green screen, and that is all, okay? I thought that they were gonna have her in like a select studio and do like different things, like kind of like how they had the performers, but they didn't do her like that. She was literally changing in all these different outfits and makeup and hair. And what I want to know is, were her parts live? Because at first I was feeling like no part of the show was live, but I kind of am wondering if her part was live, because by the end of the night it was like, see, I did all this in my home. And at one point she said Kira sheared instead of Kiera sheared, so that kind of made me feel like, okay, they could have cut that and they could have reshot it. So maybe it wasn't live, or maybe it was live, I mean. Okay, so throughout the night she was giving I can't ever think of the word, even when I was tweeting last night, but it was like nostalgic, because we were seeing her on 106 in Park with this free inspired fro. We saw her on Rhapsody of the Basement. We saw her on, dang, was that it? She did some other like old school BET Comic View, like old school BET inspired type sketches and shows, okay? So overall, as a host, I really did enjoy her. I felt like she was what was needed for this time. She is very woke and conscious of what's happening, but she also has like that comedic flair. She's great to look at. She's also educated, right? Y'all know she has that smart, funny, and Black thing going. But for a lot of people, she can be a lot. And I mean, to me, we all can be a lot. For a lot of people, I can be a lot. But Amanda Seales has been in the game for a long time, and I think I don't know if she just got blacklisted a while back and then she just fell off and like lost opportunities. I don't know, but she's coming back. Y'all know she's off the reel now, and she did her thing last night. She looked great. Some of the outfits, I was like, can you drop the Insta of who dressed you? Where can we get an outfit like that, a replica available at somewhere affordable? You know what I'm saying, okay? So we open up with Kayne Brown. He is this 11 to 12-year-old kid on Instagram who's probably an aspiring singer. He has all this soul, and if you know me, you know singers, I am very strict and very hard on singers that I enjoy. I mean, people send me videos, no ma'am, no ma'am, come here. Y'all, I swear my honey, she must enjoy wine just like me, because she's always by the wine rack. Anyway, so I'm very hard on singers, and so people always send me like videos of, really? Calm down. People always send me videos of little girls singing or little boys singing, and they're like, oh my gosh, doesn't she sound good? And I'm just like, okay? Like, I mean, she's cute and she can sing, yeah, but it usually takes a lot for me, especially if I feel like they've been kind of propped up by the parent, like, get on up there and sing something for him, you know? So I always just kind of be like taking a backseat to singers. But Kedron, he has like something in his eyes and something in the way that he sings that like makes you really believe him and understand the pain. And I just, every time he sings that, it's gonna be interesting to see like other songs he sings, but every time he sings that song, I just be like, my God, my heart. So I really was so happy to see him opening up the show. They had like a video montage of all these different like TikTok sensations. So you saw Kiki up there, you saw, oh my gosh, I can't remember his name, but he did the wipe challenge, and then it turned into animated, and I don't think it's Silas. I don't know his name, but he raps and stuff, and he was just so happy to see himself up there. But you know, you saw all these different people up there, okay? And so that's how we opened the show. And then we went into this 2020 version of Fight the Power. You had YG on there, you had Rhapsody on there, you saw Flavor Flav was back, and you saw a slew of other rappers that I'm sure are important to the community, but I had no clue who they are because that's not my generation. So don't hold that against me. But they were, you know, Salt and Pepper Beard to let us know like they must have been hot back then, right? Okay. So I was concerned that we weren't going to get MC Lyte narrating because did we even really need it? But they squeezed her in there somehow, and even enough for us to hear her call Queen B, Queen Bey. Okay, and it was cringy, but MC Lyte was still on the show. Now I want whoever was talking mess about Marsai Martin, I've been noticed when she was on Blackish that she had the Invisalign. Okay, let this girl get, she don't want the metal tracks, she don't want the braces like that. Let her have her Invisalign in peace. How are y'all saying that she got veneers? And that's so sad that, you know, the world is so superficial and we're so used to people going to get veneers, going to get their body done, going to do this, going to do that, that people just automatically assume that she have veneers. But she set the record straight, crying into a $100 bill to let y'all know, like, let her hair be her hair and let her teeth be her teeth. Like, get off of her. It's more things to worry about in the world. So she announced the best female hip hop artist, and I believe the nominees went, you know, through all of the Cardi B's, Meg Thee Stallion, Doja Cat, Lizzo. I don't think Nicki Minaj was nominated, but Meg Thee Stallion got it, which is well deserved. I mean, Savage took over the world. Hot Girl Summer took over the world. What is the one before Savage? I don't know, but she has this new song, Boys in the Hood, or In the Hood or whatever, and that one's starting to take over as well. Just get a TikTok dance rolling and it's gonna be good. Tracy Ellis Ross with these baby hairs announced Masego before he performed, and I was wanting her to back up some from the camera, and I was really upset with her backdrop as well. Like, it was clearly a sheet. Like, I just was like, y'all couldn't have gave these people more. I mean, I'm sure her house looked better than that little sheet, like, or even just sitting outside, you know, doing her fun, quirky something. Like, I just was like, okay, yeah, this is a lot. And she was so close to the camera once again. But Masego performs. I couldn't tell if he was lip syncing. He had this bomb backup singer who was, I don't know if they was riffing and just having a music session at that point, but she was hitting up them runs and riffs and harmonies, and I was so here for it. Then he got to go out on his saxophone. Queen Tings, I love the song. My husband is a huge fan of Masego, and he plays that ta-da all the time. And so when we can finally go outside, I'm really hoping that we can go to one of his shows one time, because he does it for me. I really like the song, and the setup was like in this living room, but it was like foresty jungle, kind of SZA vibes a little bit. So yeah, that was real nice. So we see Amanda Seales with this Karen support group, and I was like nervous because y'all know it was airing on CBS as well, and I was like, oh, these white people gonna watch this and they are not gonna be happy. But they did it anyway, and I was like, you know what, had to do my little patty clap, because I'm like, BET, they was like, listen, we are gonna have the blackest of the blackest shows. We're gonna call every little thing out. And I mean, we have our hostess, our MC is Amanda Seales. So we know no rock will be left unturned. Nothing will be swept under the rug, and everything will be called out. And it was. So I appreciate that, because we are in a time where covert racism is no longer like, we off that. Although us black people, I'm sorry y'all, my nose ring is doing a thing. And my old students were telling me to get a different one, but I don't want nobody digging in my nose with Corona out to try to take it out, because I can't do it. Anyway, so I feel like this was needed. As somber as it was, as like a lot of people were saying it felt like a little sad. I know that we look to the BET Awards for somebody to trip and fall, for our faves to be in the audience like lip syncing the words or laughing or doing shady looks, or you know, people walking through the crowd cutting up. Like, we didn't get none of that, and yeah, that was what was missing. And that's like, as much as the performers, the hostess, the host, the announcers, as much as all that is important, those reactions, like, we live for that. And you could see that was missing, even in Amanda Seales' like monologue and in her, you know, going back and forth, because she didn't have that crowd reaction after she said something. So just something to think about. Okay, so where was I even at, y'all? I get into these rants. So the Karen support group, that was fun, or whatever. So we see D Smoke and Sir. You guys know that they are brothers. They bring out their mom. It's like a whole family ordeal, right? We know that D Smoke won the Rhythm and Flow competition on Netflix, and he's also the brother to Sir, who was already previously signed. So they do this thing together. It looks like the streets of Compton. I think they were on a stage, but I think it was set up to look like Manchester in LA. I don't know. I don't know the ins and outs of LA. I'm from an hour and a half from LA. Okay, so I don't really know, but they did well. D Smoke looked good, you know. Sir was up there, mom, you know, it was a whole family little thing. So they did that. Okay, then we get into this versus talk. We get into, let me look at my phone, because it doesn't look like my notes transferred over to my MacBook. Okay, there we go. I already passed some stuff up because I didn't have my notes queued up. Okay, so I did want to mention the commercials. The commercials, not only was the show heavy of like black culture and everything going on, also the commercials were. The commercials like P&G and Nissan and you know, all of the different shows coming back, House of Pain coming back, Madea Farewell Tour being available on BET Plus, and you know, all these different shows and movies and Rough Riders and No Limit and like all this different stuff, right? It just was like just so black for like 4 or 5 hours, because they had like the lit thing before, and then the flashback with Brandy and Ray J before that. So it was just like black. I thought it was real. One of the commercials that I hadn't seen before was the P&G commercial for The Look. And, you know, it shows like this black guy with his son getting that look from, you know, white people when they're clutching their purse, when they're locking their doors, when they're walking on the street, when they're doing all that they're doing. And in the end, he ends up being the judge. So I really enjoyed that. So there was a couple notes from earlier that I didn't get to talk about. That flashback type of trailer, the video montage from the beginning where they're showing like all the different stuff from before in the BET Awards. It feels like it's been more than 20 years when you see Prince and Michael Jackson and James Brown and, you know, Patti LaBelle on there, and, you know, all these different people on there performing and singing and laughing and smiling. It just, on one hand, it made you sad that we're not seeing a live version this year, but then on the other hand, it was just like, wow, we have a lot to be proud of, and a lot that stems from our culture, right? So tonight, or last night, that's what the BET Awards was supposed to portray. But it also portrayed like lots of police brutality type messages. Like, we were submerged in that all night. And that leads me up to John Legend's performance. Yes, he's played beautifully. The cinematography was awesome. The backup singers were awesome. I love the song. I love the look and all of that. You can tell that they were really focused on giving us a good shot and going down to the edits, like to the T. The production heads, you know, we can appreciate like the editing, the timing, the cinematography and all that, right? But I was just like, bruh, like, these songs are so sad. Him and Alicia Keys, we had just heard these songs. Actually, I don't think John Legend performed this song on the verses, but Alicia Keys definitely sang her song on verses. But I'm getting ahead of myself, so we're not gonna talk about her just yet. But I was like, is it gonna be sad like this all night, girl? Ugh. So I talked about Marseille already. I talked about Masego. I talked about the Karen support group. So DJ D-Nice was awarded, he got a BET award. I don't remember what the BET award was. You guys will notice, I don't know if you did notice, but the BET awards had like a slew of awards that they gave out, but only 5 that were televised. And that's what I was annoyed about. Like, y'all could have just ran a like slideshow of the different awards and use that as some airtime. Like, we did not need so many skits. I mean, the skits were great, but we didn't need so many or so many announcers or so many performers. So it was I was shocked to see that they didn't air more of the awards, because, you know, you had to log on to their website or on their Instagram, or even if you follow a certain person and they won, that's how you found out they won. Like Tiana Taylor winning this director's award, I think it was. That was really good, you know, to see, because I'm a Tiana Taylor fan, but I had to go to her page to find out, and the Shade Room and all that. So this is how we get into the versus talk. You know, they talk about Teddy Riley and Babyface, talk about all the different people that have gone up against each other. And the whole time I was watching, I was like, wow, like, we've really lived through this within the past couple months. Like, it's been documented, and now we'll forever have this footage of seeing people in their masks and doing like a versus, and this is the first virtual BET Awards. So I was just like, wow, we are really living through history. Like, this is the first time in my life, other than when I'm lying. 9/11, you know, the Iraq whole thing was Saddam Hussein, Bin Laden, and then the first black president, him having 2 terms. You know, I was living through history with those things. But this is another time where I feel like I'm living through history. And, you know, when I have like godchildren and nieces and nephews and kids that I mentor and stuff in the future, I'm gonna be able to say like, yeah, we was, you know, chilling at the house like literally for 4 months straight. Like, yeah, we did that, and the celebrities were included. They were not above it or above reproach. Okay, so we get Lizzo, and she announces the best video while she is sipping her drink, honey. And I knew that if it had Nipsey Hussle in it, they were going to get that award. DJ Khaled accepts the award with so much hair dye in his hair. I don't know if he's starting to get gray, but just embrace it. And if you're not going to embrace it, maybe try being bald, like Common. Like, do the bald with the beard. You know, how would that look? Because that black dye was not it. Okay? So we get the Comic View sketch, and then we roll into Meg Thee Stallion's performance. Now, Meg Thee Stallion was over here off 59 South or 610 or somewhere off in the desert of Houston, and then the Texas Dust Bowl, okay? And she was performing this like type of rock and roll bad girl, like dominatrix vibe type of thing, and she looked really good. She did really good. She did her new song first, and then she went into Savage. Now she had her own choreography, and I was still like, I'll be waiting on her to have on knee pads by now, because after having 2 knee surgeries, and me remembering I used to dance like her and be all on the floor and doing all kind of stuff, at this point at 30, I'm just praying for her knees. I am, because she gonna need some steroid shots, because she be hitting it. Okay, but she did good. I know we were all secretly waiting for Beyonce to pop out. She was not popping out in that desert. Okay, so Naomi Campbell, who I guess ain't nobody tell her to just flip her phone to the left or right so she could get a full landscape. I don't know why they would not tell her that, but she announces the winner of the International Artist, Burna Boy Gets It. I wonder if BET is gonna rethink that category, because you saying Best International Artist, that's literally saying every other country other than this one, let's throw y'all all in one. And that's no worse than, you know, us being at the White Awards and them saying like the best R&B album and choosing, putting all the black people in that one category. You know, y'all know what I'm saying? So maybe they'll revisit that. I don't know. Okay, so we get this Rap City sketch with Amanda, DaBaby. Okay, so DaBaby did like a, he performed his song, was it Royal or Royalty, or I don't know. I have his album and I'm slowly taking certain songs out of my playlist, but he did the song that's the most like conscious or woke, right? And he does this reenactment of George Floyd's murder, and I was sitting there thinking that it was too soon. It was too soon, because we are still, not we, not as in I, but we as in black people, are still out there protesting and you know, trying to get change and still trying to make sure these men are locked up for what they've done. So it was kind of triggering to see this. I just don't know. I don't know what other way he would have done it. I see what he was trying to do. Him and Roddy Ricch, you know, they had the whole scene going on. They did the do and all that, but I was just watching like, ooh, this is deep. This is deep, because he had like the cop with the knee on his neck, and it was like slowly panning up as he was, you know, rapping or lip singing the lyrics, and then you know, we get into like the protesters and then the cop cars, and you know, it was a whole thing. So I don't know. Roddy Ricch, he had performed earlier. I don't think I mentioned this. He was sitting at a piano. He had the girls with the neon lights going on. I didn't realize he had them light colored eyes like my dog Kobe. So I can see why a lot of girls like him. But he performed High Fashion and went into the box. And if y'all don't watch Rocks, y'all need to go watch her, because her rendition of both them songs, they sound pretty close to mine. I mean, I don't know not one word, but I love how he sings it. I love the songs themselves. But yeah, so he performed those two songs, and I liked that he had a live band. Like, you could hear the guitar, you could hear the drums and all that. You couldn't see them, but there was definitely a live band and live vocals with like a music video feel. So if anything, like, this whole thing was like a gateway to bring well thought out, well produced, well edited music videos back, because they can do so much for your music. I mean, even Anderson .Paak, him performing with J-Rock later on, like, even though theirs was more of like a stage performance, that made so many of us go download the song, because we was just like, what song is this? They snapping for real. Like, we had no clue. Okay, so before that, Jennifer Hudson performed. She had dreads and she was playing the piano, which I don't remember her being able to do. She performed Young, Gifted, and Black, which was Aretha Franklin's song, and this led into this extensive preview of the biopic Aretha, or Respect. And so I think it's coming out in September. So, you know, we will all be watching that. Excited to see that. But I seen Forrest Whitaker was in it. But I just was like, man, black people know they are good for some slave movies and biopics. Like, slave movies and biopics. That's just what we do. That's I know it's not all we do, but we do them, and we do them well. Okay, so Kirk Franklin, looking 25, announced the amplified artist singer Loner. Loner, you know, the Music Matters or the amplified artists, they're usually off on like a separate stage when you watch the actual BET Awards, but because everybody was just on TV, he got like a whole set in front of millions of people, billions of people. So I thought that was cool. But I just wonder, like, if they would have taken Amanda's set more seriously and been more creative with it, they could have just put him off in a corner. They still could have made that look the same, but maybe they just felt like, okay, we'll just give him a little, because I don't think he had extra time, but he for sure was like the focal point, which is usually not the case during the actual show. Okay, so I do want to point out that Pepsi had their little commercial, and they wanted to let y'all know, no, a can of soda does not stop systemic racism, but y'all know that Kendall Jenner had that commercial last year or the year before, and everybody was dragging her over the coals because she steps between the lines of protesters and police, offered the dude a Pepsi, and apparently that was supposed to fix everything, right? And so Pepsi wanted to come through and set the record straight and show where they stand, and I thought that was right on time. They needed to do that. Okay, so we get back to the show. We roll into Wayne Brady, who did the Little Richard tribute, and I thought he was perfect. Every time I used to see him on Whose Line Is It Anyway, I used to be like, this man is on this show and his talent is being wasted. Like, he can sing. Does he play the piano? Like, he can get down the choreography like y'all saw. Now, he did look like your uncle or your dad, you know, trying to get the moves together, but he very much has it. So I was just like, why this man ain't doing more? Like, what were his dreams? What were his goals? I know that he hosts, is it Deal or No Deal? He hosts one of them game shows, and he does give you like game show, but he also like can sing. But he kind of has this like Jason Derulo's dad type of feel, so I see why that could be gone now. But what did he do before? Does he write or something? Anyway, so then we get this like montage of, you know, they always do like all of the black artists and creators and influencers and politicians who have passed within this year, from the last BET Awards to this BET Awards. And I know that there was some drama with a John Williams, I think, but they were able to go through and fix it. That's a good thing about virtual. They were able to go through and fix it. But I was just like, there was so many black people. It was so many people. And it just had me like, dang, like we are really living. I mean, I don't like to say we living in the last days. I like to be positive, but when you see all them people, and then you see like the flashbacks of the BET Awards, and you realize how many of those people are not here, it just makes you a little sad. It makes you feel like we really got to get things handled down here before we're out of here, child. Like we just got to get right. We got to get right. So this flows into, and I thought the transitions between these three things were weird. The Little Richard tribute into the montage into the tribute to Kobe. I thought they were very. All right, so Dion Cole wants to tell us to stop talking white when we go back to work. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I speak properly. And maybe he was saying like us speaking proper, like the derivative of that is from the white man because the white man taught that. And maybe it's all of that, but don't y'all go and lose y'all job because Dion Cole told y'all to do that. He has a blackish check, a grownish check. He does stand-up. He has that stand-up on Netflix, I think. Like, he's doing just fine. So don't be out here losing your job because you're trying to, you know, keep it real a little too much. Still have a little bit decorum, right? But he was announcing the best female R&B / pop vocalist. Now, there's a lot of controversy with this category because the people that were nominated were seemingly, according to everyone else, were more deserved of this award. But Lizzo wins the award. She was nominated with Beyonce, with Summer Walker, and I can't remember the other people. But Lizzo wins the award nonetheless. She wants to thank Beyonce, thank the other women in the category, and then proceeds to say, I didn't win 3 years ago, I didn't win last year, and I finally won this year. I'm like, okay girl, you did not have to tell us that, but thanks for sharing. Okay, so Alicia Keys performs her song in the middle of the street on a piano, music video type feel. She was not singing, she was lip syncing, and she had her old school look, you know, the half braids with the swoop and all that, and she still very much looked like her old self. Look real good. It's just the sound for me. Like, I'm not an Alicia Keys fan as far as her voice, but I do appreciate, that's what it was, y'all. It was a hair on my nose this whole time. I do appreciate like the lyrics, the songs most of the time, but a lot of times I can't do the voice. Okay, so let's move on to my girls. Chloe and Halle killed their performance. I don't know if they was on the tennis court again, but they had like the black look and then the white look. They was serving like the latex, and you know, Halle gives you the very like innocent type of look, and then Chloe be serving looks in the camera, hips and dips, very thick and all of that. So they performed Forgive Me, which is off of their new album, and then is the album called Forgive Me as well? I don't think so. Anyway, so they performed that, and then they went into their Do It track, which is taking over TikTok, and that was in the white. And whoever the editor is, I need to take a class under you, because when you switch between the two and that was bomb. It was bomb. They did the dance break. It looked amazing. Okay, so the other awards I don't have listed on here. I'm just gonna go off of memory because we already been on here for a while. So Summer Walker and Usher performed. Summer Walker looked like SZA. I don't know why. The whole vibe of the two songs that they did, you know, they did the Come Through and she did some other song, but they were very slow and mellow. So it was SZA vibes, it was Masego vibes, it was like vibes type of thing. She was playing the guitar. But I didn't understand her look. Like, y'all know that she's the one that causes like all the issues in the blogs, because she's like introverted but she want to twerk. She's introverted but she want to cuss and go off on people. She's, you know, all these things but this. And so I don't know how I feel about her, because she just, it's always something with her. But she performed, they did great. They was singing, they was getting a little too close. I was like, okay, 6 feet, social distancing. But Usher was running, and I'm like, you know, from what I'm seeing online, we ready for an R&B album from you, Usher. We are ready for that. Okay, so let me see if I can remember everything else off the top of my head. My notes come to like a quick stop. I did see that Roddy Ricch won an award. It don't say what he won. Kiara Sheard and Karen Clark performed together. Just vocals down, just voice down. Like, I just was just watching, getting chills, just screaming, doing all the shouting and praising gifts on Twitter, because I'm here for them. I've been a fan for them for a long time. I was waiting on them to do You Love Me and do the riffs back and forth, but clearly this was Kiara shine, and Mama was taking a back seat and just letting Kiara do, you know, her thing. So I thought that was good. Okay, it's coming back to me now. Jonathan Nelson, I think, who is a gospel artist. I don't know. Did he win Sunday's Best? I feel like he's tied to that. I know he's a judge, but I don't know if he won it and that's how he became famous or whatever. But he's a gospel singer. He does the guitar thing. I've seen him up close and personal. He is a great artist. His performance was like in a church, and they had like the strings and, you know, different people like in the pews, and like that was shot beautifully, and that looked great and sounded great. So then we pan into Kayne Brown. Was it Kayne Brown? He's like this mixed country singer, and on Twitter y'all was dragging the performance, talking about, is this an All Lives Matter performance? It was very like kumbaya, like whites and blacks together, la 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 type thing. But I see what he was trying to do. You know, he's mixed. He's trying to bring mom and dad together. Okay. So we got that. Let me just see. Let me not lose it. Okay, because y'all know I'm saving like the most important part for the very end. But I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything else. So we're just going to go ahead and skip to it because I can't think of nothing else. Beyonce gets the Humanitarian Award. Who other than our forever FLOTUS, Michelle Obama, presents her with the Humanitarian Award. And then we get this dive in, this look into all that Beyonce does behind the scenes when all y'all are talking mess and dragging in the comments about her not doing anything, her not saying anything. Now, y'all have dragged Beyonce before for not being able to read, not being able to do public speaking well. So now she's to the point where she don't even get on the camera and be candid at all with y'all, unless it's her documentary or something she can control the editing of, because y'all done dragged her so much. And you can tell in the graduation, the 2020 commencement speech, and then in this, she just looks directly in the camera, looking flawless and beautiful as ever. But it just don't be having too much heart in it. And I don't blame her, because y'all just gonna find something to drag her for. But she gets the Humanitarian Award, very much deserved. She has her Be Good foundation. You know, she was out here, she's doing the COVID-19 testing. She's just amazing, amazing. And y'all just gonna keep hating. If they didn't talk about that foundation, they talk about just her influence, her ability to speak up, you know, with Lemonade and all that Formation did, and then to do Homecoming and all that did for the culture and all that did for our people, and then, you know, just her behind the scenes, like just her as a person, like all of that. Okay, so she gets that award. And I feel like I was gonna say something else, and okay. And so then we roll into her trailer of the Black King, or Black is King. Black is King. And so that's coming out July 31st on Disney Plus. But we got to see some nice, strong Black images, and I can't wait to see that. Okay, so they wrapped that BET Awards on up right at 3 hours. We was in at 7, we was out by 10. They had an after show on Facebook with Karuchi and Rotimi and the guy who sings Board in the House, Board. But it was only like 2,000 people on there, and they were only on there for like 30 minutes, unless they were doing something else. I missed it. I know DJ D-Nice was on. But yeah, that was it. So let me know what y'all thought about the BET Awards this year. What did y'all like? What did y'all dislike? What did I miss? Comment down below. I'm Kayne Brown. This is Kayne Brown Music TV, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.